Okay. Um, so I can't hear y'all here, but I'm getting the word that it's time to go. So, uh, Coach K, thanks so much for having me, the Action News Jax team here. My name is Corey. For those of you watching here, this is a really strange time that we're in. You guys all join in from wherever you are on your computers in your home or wherever. But we have really, really awesome technology in the TV studio that, we can do this too. And we can kind of just walk around the television studio and I can show you around kind of what we do here. So I like to be there in person with you guys, to see y'all sitting there, look at your faces, and you smile, and whenever you see something you like or you really enjoy. But this is just the time that we're in here. So if there's time, or if y'all are doing it, we can maybe ask some questions at the end. If not, that's okay too. But yeah, so this is Action News Jax, and we're here in Jacksonville. And we're actually on Beach Blvd, so not that far away from the Shiva Robotics Academy. So this is the weather team, the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team. Mike Burrish is our chief. He's the guy that you see all the time, and he's great. He's been here about 20 years, and he knows how to predict the weather here. The weather impacts everyone every day. You want to know, your parents want to know, what the weather's going to be like, so you know what to wear. You need to know if you need the umbrella, if you need to take a rain jacket, or if you need a coat. Now, this time of year, you don't need the coat because it's really hot and it's summertime. So that is Mike. Garrett Biedenbaugh is in the morning, and then maybe this guy looks a little familiar. I kind of have some stuff on my face, but that's me. We also have Alyssa, who joined us about 6 months ago. And there are a total of 4 of us. We all work at kind of different times. So we'll just talk a little bit about what we do. And this is the studio here where we actually work. So, but before we do that, I want to start off with a little experiment. So, you guys are talking about coding, and that's all about science, technology, engineering, and math. And there are a lot of different fields, different places that you can do science for your job when you grow up and you get older and you decide maybe what you want to do with your life. So we're going to do a little experiment here just to maybe get y'all thinking a little bit. So this is a picture of something, and we're going to figure out what it's a picture of. So it's just boxes. Like, there are 6 boxes here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 2 rows of 3. So these boxes are actually very important to figuring out what this is a picture of. And these boxes are something that you see on a pretty regular basis. Right now, you're looking at a computer. It's a screen, it's a monitor. I'm looking at a bunch of monitors here in the building. Maybe you've seen an iPhone or a smartphone. These have screens. Televisions have screens. They are made of pixels. And so pixels are what actually make the picture. We need more pixels to figure out what this is a picture of. So we are going to ask for help. We could ask your teachers. We could ask your parents. We're going to go to the government. And that's because the government can give us a lot of money to figure out what this is. So we go to the government. They're like, we like you. You're pretty smart. You're really bright. We believe in you. We think that you can figure out what this is a picture of. All right? So we're going to give you $1 million. That's a lot of money, right? $1 million. So we're going to give you $1 million. Take a year. Do some study. Do some science and research. Maybe do some coding. Figure out what this is a picture of. Okay, so we take a year, we take that $1 million, remember, it's a lot of money, and this is what we come up with. So we have more boxes, we have more pixels, but we still aren't really sure what this is a picture of. You know, some of you maybe have some guesses, but none of you can tell me 100% you know what this is a picture of. So now we have, this is 3 rows of 5. So we have 15 boxes, and we have some different coloring here, but we still need more. This is called resolution, and that's kind of a really big sciencey word, but the more resolution you have, the cooler the picture looks, right? If you have a really big television, like think of a movie theater, that's a lot of pixels that are in there, but the picture looks awesome. So we need more resolution. Well, that takes more money and more time. So we took a year and the first $1 million, and this is what we got. We still aren't really sure what this is a picture of. We go back to the government and they're like, okay, we expected more from you, but we still believe in you. So here's another $1 million. Whoa. Take another year, do some more study, research, science, and figure out what this is a picture of. Okay, so we're hoping for some better results this time. That's what we come up with. Thereafter 2 years and $2 million. I mean, we're maybe kind of getting an outline here. By this point, like, I could count all the boxes, but it would take a lot of time, and we're just not going to do that right now. So we have more pixels. We have a better picture here. Still not really sure what's going on here. So this is how science works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't go the way you think it should go, but that's okay, because that's one of the awesome things about science. As we ask more questions, as we learn more stuff, we have more and more questions. And that's just how it's going to be. It's not always going to go the way you expect it, and you may mess up at times. But that's okay. It's happened to everybody. Your teachers, scientists, the guy who created the light bulb, Thomas Edison, I don't remember how many different ways he tried to create the light bulb, but when somebody asked him about it, he said, I didn't fail 100,000 times making a light bulb. I found 100,000 ways not to make a light bulb. So it's just about how you think about it. This is what that's a picture of. Some of y'all probably know who that is. That is Benjamin Franklin. He is considered to be the father of modern science. So we took, and I just heard a cool sound there. That timing worked out pretty well. So we had just a few boxes to start. That's what this was a picture of. It was a picture of Benjamin Franklin. So all that to say, science, technology, coding, computers, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I love my job. And you guys, if you go the way of coding and technology and that stuff, there are going to be so many different ways that you can do fun things and make money and have a job and enjoy what you're doing. It is a really, really awesome world that we live in, and there are endless things that you'll be able to do with a career in science. One of those is the weather. So that's what we're going to talk about here. And just back to the shot of the 4 of us. We're in the studio here. So Rob, can I have you just zoom out a little bit here so they can kind of get an idea of where we are here. We're kind of back in the corner of the studio. It's really kind of a big building here. We have this curved part. We call it an island. It's the weather corner of the studio. It's my favorite. But yeah, I am the weather guy. So back here in the corner is our weather office, and it's kind of hard to see, but there is a room back in here. That's where we sit down. We actually look at The internet. We use the internet and computers to make our weather forecast, and we write it all down, and then we come here on the computers and we put it together and we make it. So just to talk about a couple of those things here, there are some things with television you maybe haven't thought about. The lights here are really bright. You couldn't see any of the lights there when we zoomed out because they're all up kind of high, but they're really bright. Okay, so Rob is kind of panning up here, and yeah, there we go. We have a ton of lights here in the ceiling, and you know, you got to be able to see us. But because the lights are so bright, oh, I got to put makeup on. And when I was your age, my sisters wanted to put makeup on me. I had two sisters. I didn't have a brother. I don't have a brother. But now I put makeup on myself. So, yeah, that's great. To all of the guys that are watching here, it is okay if you do something with your life where you have to put makeup on. Okay? It's all right. It's just fine. It's just part of it. Glitz and glamour. Sound, very important. I'm wearing a microphone. You can maybe see it here on my tie. I also have this box that I have clipped to my belt. I have to turn it on. There's a switch on it that I have to push and turn it on so you can hear me. There's an audio guy in the back that has to also turn my mic on. He has those levers that you can turn it up and down. And if he doesn't turn my mic up, then you can't hear me. And I'm just this yapping mouth that, you know, you can't hear anything. So that's not that great. The audio guy has a very important job. And I can't do my job without him. Rob, the guy I've been talking about, moving the cameras, he punches everything up. Also a very important job. There are a lot of people in the background here in the television studio that I need to be able to get on television and talk to you. Let's talk a little bit about the weather part of this. So these are some of the maps that we look at. I know you guys use the internet for social media, to play games and whatever, and all that stuff's great, but there's a lot of weather information on the internet. And so this is a website I go to. It's called Pivotal Weather, and this is a map of temperatures. And we have different colors here. We kind of have some red here in the middle. Then we go up towards some yellow, and then the red turns into pink here. This is the Gulf of Mexico. Here's Florida. Jacksonville is right about here where you see that 66. And so this is one of the things that we can look at when we are trying to predict the future or looking or forecasting the weather. This is the wind. We can actually go forward in time and see what the wind is going to do, where it's going to blow, if it's going to be really windy out there at the beach, if you're trying to get out on the beach and in the water. Something very important that we deal with this time of year, rain. It rains and storms about every day somewhere around Jacksonville in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. And so we look at what the rain is going to do tomorrow, the next day, and the day after that. Rain is a very important part of predicting the weather. And then I write it all down. This is my forecast sheet. And so I have the day that I'm working, and then we go out the next 7 days. So this day was a Tuesday. So we went out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because, you know, the weekend, really important. You care about the weekend a lot, and your parents do too. And then Monday. So I have a circle on every day. It's just a big blank circle. And then I draw what kind of clouds or what kind of sky we're going to have here. So on Tuesday, I put just a little bit of rain, but a little bit more rain on Wednesday, but then just one cloud here Thursday and Friday. A couple of days that it was, there was a lot of sunshine and it was pretty dry. We also deal with the beach forecasts, what we call our boat and beach, because there are a lot of people who get out on boats, and, you know, maybe y'all do that too. A lot of people fish, a lot of people surf. The beach is very important here. I'm from Oklahoma, which is about halfway across the United States. And there isn't an ocean there, but that's part of the important weather that we deal with here. So we have the boat and beach forecast. There it is. We have the tides whenever the water comes up really close to the coast, and then when it actually lets back out, because that's important for boaters and fishers. Two of the main things that we deal with here in Northeast Florida, well, we see hurricanes and we occasionally see tornadoes. And hurricanes, unfortunately, very, very powerful and devastating, but we track the tropics. We watch the tropics. The tropics is the ocean, the area over the water that, you know, it's tropical. It's like you're going out to the beach on vacation. So we have different tools that we can use, and one of those is satellite. The satellites are way up in space, hundreds of thousands of miles, and they're just taking pictures of the Earth. And so this is what we're looking at right here. We can see the clouds that are kind of moving up the coast here along Florida. This is Florida right here, the Florida panhandle here, and then we get up into Georgia. There is Savannah. They're northeast of Jacksonville. And there are different names for tropical systems, which we just start out with thunderstorms. We call it a tropical wave, and that's kind of a big fancy science word, but it's just rain and thunderstorms out over the ocean. But those get more and more organized, and as that happens, then we start to hear probably some words that you're a little bit more familiar with, like a tropical depression. A depression is just a step up from that. All that organized has winds less than 39 miles per hour, which we're getting into specific numbers there. Tropical storm is next, and this is a little bit more organized. And then we have a hurricane after a tropical storm, which is the most powerful. They are the wind and the rain with hurricanes is spread out over such a large area, and they can be very, very devastating and do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, that's just something that we have to live with living here in Florida. But that's why we're here. The First Alert Weather Team is here to make sure you are prepared and your family is prepared as well. Sometimes we see tornadoes here and there. Tornadoes, not all that common here in Northeast Florida, near Jacksonville. It's just a cloud, and it's spinning really fast, and it's making contact with the ground. It's touching all the way down to the ground. These are actually pictures of tornadoes that I have taken, not from Florida. These are out from Texas, which Texas is another state way about halfway across the country. But tornadoes are really cool to look at. They are. They can be very dangerous. And it's really important that if whatever's headed your way, if there's a tornado, a hurricane, your parents need to have a plan. If we're back in school, in the building, your teachers have a plan as well to keep you safe. So make sure you do what they tell you to do whenever they tell you to do something. So real quick, we're going to talk about just kind of what it takes to be a weatherman, to be a meteorologist. You guys are learning things now in school that are going to help you down the road. We've been talking a lot about science. Yeah, you got to be good at science. You got to be good at math too. And math isn't fun. You know, sometimes math can be really hard. I loved math. I loved math when I was your age. We've been talking a lot about geography. You got to know where you live. You got to know what county and what state and what country you're in. We talk a lot about different towns and cities and the roads and highways. And so you have to know where you are and what's around you. We do a lot with computers and technology. That's sort of what you guys are learning about here this week. Also, public speaking. You know, this is an empty studio right here. There's nobody in here. But all you guys are watching me and listening to me right now. So I have to be really good at talking. And when I was your age, even up through when I went to college, I was really nervous about getting up in front of people and talking, but I got better at it. And you can too. If it's something that you want to do and you love to do, then you can learn to do different and new things. And this last thing at the bottom here, stress and time management. Y'all don't know what it's like to be stressed out yet. You're too young, but someday you will learn. Okay, so we're going to go on a quick little tour here of just a couple of the areas that we have to work with. So Rob, I'm going to go to the MAM, if you can take the MAM there. This is basically right next to where I just was, so no magic, nothing crazy. This is just 9 different monitors here, 9 different panels, but we have combined them all together so that it looks like one picture, because it is. But it's a little bit bigger. You know, you can still see what's going on here on the map, and I can look at it and talk about it. So now I'm going to go to the wall, Rob, and this is, so now this picture is full, and now I'm walking in front of it. This is what you typically see if you're watching the news, you're watching your weatherman. The weather map is all behind him here. So Rob, let's take away the weather computer, and there it is. It's the green screen. This is what we stand in front of and where we work. I am looking at a big green wall. You can kind of see my shadow there. Those are the lights that are lighting me so you can see me, but you can actually see my shadow there on the wall. So now, Rob, zoom out so they can, they'll see the lights there at the top, and then you can see it's kind of hard to see on that side. You can see on this side, there's a TV monitor. That's what we look at. So when your weatherman is talking and you see him, look to the side here and point to stuff on the green screen. We're looking at a television monitor. This is what we see. That's pretty cool, huh? It takes a little practice. It took a little time. It didn't happen all that fast, at least for me. But I also have a monitor on the camera. Y'all can't see that because the camera's looking at me.
So he can't see, but we can?
It's not a mirror.
So he can see, but we can? We can see like that. He only sees green screen, but then how does he know what I'm pointing?
So, yes, how do I know? I can just see it. When those monitors y'all saw, I see exactly what you're seeing right here. So I can see yes, great picture, Rob. Right here. Right here. So this is what I'm looking to the side and I'm looking at. We also have a couple of other monitors here that we can look at if we need to know like what's in the computer or what's in the other one. So that's what we see when we look to the side. That's kind of cool, huh? Yeah. In this camera, it also has that same picture that you're looking at, but it's not a mirror image. So, you know, if you're looking at a mirror and you raise your right hand, then it looks like your left hand is going up in the mirror. That's not what's happening here.
I've been there before, and they said that you just have to know what's on the screen.
Sometimes, yes, it's just a matter of knowing what's behind you. So you guys are sometimes looking at whenever your teachers get up and present like a PowerPoint or a slideshow. And that's what we have on our weather computers. And we have to know kind of what's coming up next. Otherwise, we're kind of going on to the next thing and it's going to sound like we don't know what we're talking about. So we have to know what's coming up next. And it also helps. I'm looking at the camera here and I know that, so you see the color there up by there is Brunswick in Southeast Georgia. I have been in front of this picture enough that I kind of know Brunswick is up there. So I can just sometimes I can throw my hand up there and get close. Sometimes it is a bit of a guess, not all the time though, because when we look here, we can actually get down nitty gritty and talk about exactly what we want to talk about. And one other cool thing we can do on the green screen here, it can actually detect my hand. So watch this. I can push a button and I can actually zoom in to the radar here. So that's pretty cool too, huh? So now there's Jacksonville. We have a really closer picture of Jacksonville, and we have some rain here. This is northeastern Duval County, basically close to the airport, just east of the airport.
Is this what's happening right now? Most of the rain.
We can actually zoom down a little bit closer here too, so we can get the streets and towns and all the way down to your neighborhood, where exactly the rain is and where it's headed as well. So these are some of the tools that we have here in the studio. And it's a big room. Rob, let's go back to the Weather Center. And you can just hit the Weather Center shot, and I'm going to walk back over there. And we're about out of time here. If we have time for some questions, Coach K, I'd love to maybe answer a couple of those. So if we have time to do that, I'd say let's go ahead.
Is it hard to memorize everything for the news?
Is it hard to memorize everything for news? So the folks who read the news have what we call a teleprompter. And I don't know if there's a way right now that we can actually show them that. But it's just the script that they're actually reading. And I can actually see it.
Give it back.
This
No,
is the
give it back.
And so this is what the news people read. Here it is. You're getting a live look out at Tallahassee here in Florida, where Governor Ron DeSantis is going to speak in moments. When you see the news people, when you hear them reading, they're looking at that. That's scrolling on the camera while it looks like they're, looking right at you. The weather guys, we don't use that teleprompter. It's all off the top of our head. So we have to know exactly what it is that we want to talk about. And that took a little bit of practice too, because if you just stop talking, like, it gets awkward. So it took a little practice for me to know exactly what I wanted to talk about there. But that's a really good question.
Did it take days and stuff?
Say that again?
Did it take days to learn?
I honestly don't remember. I don't think it took that long. I wanted to be a weatherman when I was y'all's age. So it was something I really, really wanted to do. And so I was looking at stuff when I was younger, and it just kind of came naturally. And there are things that will come naturally to you all.
Okay. How do you know if the information you're reading is correct?
The question was, how do we know if the information is correct? And that's another really good question. So earlier I mentioned that we can look at the internet and look at the forecast, the future, the prediction. Those are done by computers. And y'all are talking all about computers this week, and computers are really handy tools. But computers are only as smart as the people who make them. And computers can't do everything.
Do you like to be on the news?
I do like to be on the news. It is fun. Let me finish this other question first. Computers are not always correct. They aren't always right. So that's why you need humans to look at what the computers say, and then we can say, yeah, I agree with that, or I don't agree with that. So that's where your own expertise will come in. Anybody else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. All right, Coach K, thanks a lot. Alyssa will be here on Thursday. So feel free to email or reach out if we need to know anything before then.
You're not.
Thanks a lot, y'all,
Wait.
for listening and for having me.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Bye. Bye.
Goodbye, News for Jax. Bye.